everybody to Real Talk in Real Estate. I am, of course, your boy, the Money Man. And of course, we got in the building the philosopher. What's up, philosopher?
And what's the deal, man? I'm glad to see everyone showing up. We was kind of on time. We did a better job than we got in the past.
That's very true.
That's
very true. It's a progress, I guess. Our progress, I guess. What's up, Cole? What's up, Cole?
Hey, well, I'm gonna just say I was on time.
I've
been here all day. Getting that work in.
When I worked in the I said, back to you in the office, and that was it.
Look, I've been working so hard, I had to go get some leave. Well, you're a baby girl, you know how that is. Daughter called me today, so it was Chipotle. I was like, man, real.
Oh, man. Your daughter's Chipotle. My son is Chick-fil-A.
Man.
I'm so sick of Chick-fil-A. Although their service is A1.
They get you every time.
Every time.
No matter what.
No such thing as Chick-fil-A too much.
That's right.
That's right. Unless you got my son. You know what I'm saying? He want it every night. I can't take it.
Chicken nuggets. They got about that many menus on there.
They do.
But we got a guest today.
We got a guest up in this thing, you know what I'm saying? He really doesn't need any introduction, but we'll give him an introduction.
No, he needs no introductions.
We got over here with us Stephen, the cool man, Royston. What's going on, bro? You're right. Appreciate you for joining us today, Stephen.
It's my pleasure to be here with you, gentlemen. I am looking forward to this discussion.
Oh man, it's gonna be some great convo.
Yes. Keep the lights on.
Keep the lights on.
Hey, Steve, for the people out there, why don't you tell them a little bit about yourself?
Well, I've been in real estate for over 8 years now. I've been here at Keller Williams for 4 years, basically working more on the seller side. You know, in this business, you have to be on both sides, sellers and buyers. So, and I do not limit myself to one area of Houston. When people ask me what side of real estate on, I tell them Earth. You know, we talk like Keller Williams, we pretty much Earth. You know?
Yeah.
So I really do enjoy real estate. I got into real estate actually as an investor. I started investing first, and then some of the investors that I was pulling in, they wanted to start putting houses on the market, asking me to sell. I was like, well, I'm gonna need a license. I'm needing money on the thing.
There you go.
Right. To get on both sides of it. So that would kind of led me to go ahead and get my license down the road. So
Okay.
I enjoy it.
Oh man, it's a good thing. You know, lots of businesses are created from need. And you need to go ahead and get your license so you can get these commission checks.
That's right.
And then everyone's created. Yeah. So now here today, the topic is we're gonna talk about the psychology of a real estate agent when dealing with buyers specifically.
Yes.
All right. And I'm gonna toss this over to our guest and let him be the first one to say what is the most important thing for an agent to take into account when they're dealing with buyers.
I would have to say the most important mentality that you have to have is that you are there to help and guide their decision. Because one thing when you're dealing with those buyers, buyers always seem to kind of be scattered. You know, they say what they want, but they don't know what they need. You know what I'm saying? And as having the mental part of it, you have to be on point and keeping them on track and leading them back to, hey, you said you wanted one story. You said you wanted a resale house versus a brand new house. Right? So the mentality you have, you got to be patient because they're going to go back and forth on what they decide, what they want, and what they don't want. Right? So you got to have a lot of patience. You have to have a lot of understanding. And if you have those two things, you know, you're going to be all right.
All right. I like that answer. Hey, closer. I know that's a tough act to follow, but you know what I'm saying, I'm going to ask you anyway. Just tell me what you think is the most important mentality for an agent to have.
Well, I would just say, no.
Can't go wrong with that one.
Well, I agree with everything that Stephen said, and if I was to take it another step, I would say, as an agent, you have to be the premier in organization. Like, you gotta understand the path itself, right? But you also gotta have your ducks in line. Because when they come in, it's like if I was to take a a bunch of pennies and coins, just throw them in the air and let them land. That's kind of where they thinking in the beginning as a buyer, because they just think they want a house.
Right.
So it's our job to kind of start to organize them and put the puzzle pieces together, but we gotta have our stuff together too, right? So we gotta have a process and a structure so that we can lead and not let the blind be leading the blind.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, that's kind of would be my big point on it. I think.
I love it. Let's see what the philosopher can philosophize today. That ain't a word, but don't worry about it. Go ahead.
Man, because this is one of my favorite idealistic mentality. Anything that anybody does, the fellas did hit what, 1, 2. Even you hit 2 of them, close you hit 1. But in all honesty, the last one I believe is you gotta really have love for it. You know, you gotta have love for the process. You gotta love what you're doing and why you're doing it. You just can't say, well, I'm gonna get the paycheck, or you just can't be like, I'm gonna be organized, or you just can't say, I'm gonna be understanding. You truly have to have a genuine love for that buyer, that buying process. And look, I would say it's the person, but the process that the buyer goes through. You really have to, it has to be in here because it's gonna be a day and a night that we all had it. This one. You know, we all had that moment, and the only thing that brings you back is the fact that you love what you're doing, and you love who you're doing it for, and you love why you're doing it. And so the biggest thing we just gotta have to understand is loving what we do.
I love it. I love that. Because I know it's plenty of days like that. When you love it, you're able to wake up the next morning and not have the thought that, man, look, I'm out this day. I can't deal with these folks no more. You know what I'm saying? Right. You gotta keep calm mind. But I'll jump back to something that Walt said that kind of hit a little bit, where agents need to know what they're doing, right? So my question is how important is it for agents to make sure that they're educated, not only about the process, but about the information that they're giving to the client?
You asking to close?
I'm asking to close. I'm asking to close. Hey, I'm coming back to your point.
Okay.
I'm coming back to your point.
Well, you know, I think that, go ahead, rephrase the question again.
Hey, he lost it. He lost it. We got one.
Hey,
Look, I was trying to mess with y'all and then lost the question. But I think the overall concept was something like, you know, what is it that we need to know as the agent?
Yeah, it's education, wherever you want to take it there.
Well,
education.
I think that, you know, the reality of it is this, everybody's new at one time. You know what I mean? And everybody's a veteran if you stay in the game, right? So I think it's important that it's not just education per se. It's going through that process of always being in a learning mindset, but also collecting resources, as I like to say. Because there's people that's done it before you. And there's people that do it well, and there's people that do it in these specific niches that we talk about, for example, first-time home buyers, where I can't be scared. So if Stephen is a first-time home buyer agent, he works with a lot of them, I can't be scared to be like, hey, Stephen, I got this client, blah, 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 so he can help coach me up so that I can then transfer that information to get the best scenario for my client. So I think that really as an agent, we have to always be at a learning mind state and then continue to grow. I mean, I've been doing this for 15 plus, 14, 15 plus, and I'm still learning new stuff every single day. You know what I mean? Because the market changes, the people change. You know, think about this. Think about old school like me, right? And then think about millennials. Like how many ways do we think differently in regards to buying a house and what that means? So you got to continually grow and educate as you go along, but not be afraid to make a couple mistakes. And then, like I said, partner up with, you know, this is like football. Football, you know, when you come in as a rookie, it's a big brother system. You know what I'm saying? The veteran, they'll bring you under their wing and they'll show you how to be a professional football player. It's the same thing in the real estate game, at least here at Cape Town.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do that shameless plug. At least here at Cape Town. You know what I'm saying? Cape Town professionals here. We take everybody under the wing and kind of coach them up.
I got you. So I'll toss this over to, I guess, Mr. Cool over there. And what I will ask is, going back to another point, mentorship. Essentially is what he was talking about.
Right.
How important do you think mentorship is to an agent that's actually getting in the business and to make sure that they don't put their clients in a bad position?
I think it's very, very important. You know, everybody has to have a mentor. The example Walt just gave about the football players. You know, anytime the rookies come in, they'll match, you know, the senior players, the veterans, go, hey, here's what you got to do. And if you pay attention to all those rookies, they're looking eye to eye, like eating up every word. You know, my thing was, I got to do a shameless plug through Keller Williams when I came here. Ms. Rawson was that for me, you know, because I wanted to eat everything that she was saying, and you can't say it doesn't work if you're not following. You know what I'm saying? So to have a mentor is very, very important for new agents, you know, because it successfully leaves footprints. Right. And so if you're following the footprints that's successful, you're going to be successful. And not being afraid to ask, because you don't know because you didn't ask. You know, you lack wisdom.
I think that's the big one.
Right.
I think the biggest one is not having that fear to ask or reach out to somebody.
Right.
When it's just, it might just be a little question in your mind, right?
Yeah.
You know, that don't seem like a big deal, but you know, that question can turn into this question and that question can turn it into a big deal. Right. But in the beginning, it was something small, you know?
Very small. Right. And that's the thing, is that you can't let pride step in your way, be a roadblock, you know, in order to be successful with your clients. Philosopher, what you got? Were you mentored when you came in?
Yes, I went through Vegas as well. And it was a great experience. My actual mentor was Mr. Fagan. And when he took me through the process, it wasn't about the quote unquote ins and outs of real estate, about the contracts, the jargon, looking for houses. It was about your life as a realtor, as a man. And it's a little bit different than for a woman, I can honestly say, because as a man, you have a responsibility. You have people who are counting on you. And so every move you make has to be productive, and there has to be the end, which is to provide some type of financial stability for your family in the business that you're in. We can have all the love and desire for what we do, and we can have all the understanding of how what we do. But at the end of the day, if it does not equate to afford the almighty dollar, it's going to be a point where, what am I doing? You understand what I'm saying? And so Fagan really helped me understand that process as a man being a realtor and having someone you got to take care of to do the business.
Okay. So you have a vet mentor kind of guide you, not only teach you business lessons, but teach you life lessons.
Correct.
That's good. Let's going back to Walt's example, which is essentially what the senior football players kind of help do a little bit.
Correct.
Don't go out there and blow all of your money on a night at the club. You know, don't go out there and buy that Ferrari real quick. You know what I'm saying? You just there, they got to leave.
I heard this one player say, he told the rookie, say, I want you to buy your mom the biggest house she wants. And you know why? It's because you don't manage it, that's where you're going to be living.
Show you right.
Oh, I like that one. Use that one. All right, so then we're going to shift gears here a little bit and talk about technology, right? There's been a little bit of talk about how technology has kind of hurt the industry a little bit. And then there's talk about how technology has actually kind of helped the industry a little bit. I'll throw this over here to the philosopher first and ask him, what are your thoughts on technology? Has it helped the industry or has it actually hurt?
Technology as far as the mentality of the agent, it kind of helps. It hurts you because you stop thinking. You literally stop figuring out a way to get something done. You know what I'm saying? If we didn't have our flat phones and email, text, Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter, everything else, you would kind of lose the idea of the keypad, 713. 750. Hello, this is my name. I'm going to stop you by 30 seconds. Because we have so much with that rascal, they kind of, we kind of deteriorate our minds. I got a 16-year-old son, and if I didn't tell him what, cut the game off, man. Go, let the sun hit your body. It would be that day, you know what I'm saying? And that's how we all when it comes to.
But that's what I'm supposed to do. We're not supposed to go there. Create a game. That's what we used to do.
Right.
So we just take that. You can turn around and get something.
You can have a creative game.
Right. No more creative minds anymore, man.
And so, in all honesty, it's not only for the kids, but it's for us as adults. You know, how many times have any of y'all ever got to the point where you dropped your phone in the water, you lost your phone for a day? Those first 3 hours, you was like, what in the world am I going to do?
You do go back to like the 80s, you be like,
But after those 3 hours is succeed, you kind of realize like,
look, you ain't got
hey, I'm all right. You know what I'm
you ain't got no
saying?
house phone no more. You know, you revert back to the house phone with, you know what I'm saying? So like, you ain't got a phone for a day. But you know what's funny about that too at the same time? Because that's the calmest day you have.
Yes.
Yeah.
You lose that phone and you, for the first hour or two, you like, oh, you go crazy. But then you be like, all right, well, I ain't gonna get it till tomorrow. You be having like the coolest day that you don't even think.
Right.
You know, you be like, well, you know what? You start building stuff in the garage. I need to put this stuff together. I think you can do all kind of stuff when you ain't got your phone.
Hey, and that's very true. When you think about actual phone numbers, you know, my grandma used to be able, hey, can you call such and such?
Yeah.
She'd pick up it and they don't remember that.
Oh,
When you got the little circular thing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Whatever bird say, hey,
Yep. They'll never know what they be like. Everything, all they had to do was click 9 and go to their name.
And if you don't go all the way around, you know it'll go through like,
Oh,
you don't make sure you know that it didn't dial right. You go all the way around.
I told my wife, if we lost our phone, and if my wife is with me, I told her, I said, who can we call? We don't know nobody know about phone.
I know
Nobody.
Nobody.
Right.
Man, hey, I mean, I can
Hey, you call 911. Hey, I said if I got locked up, I was like, man, I'd be SOL.
Man.
We wouldn't know who to call. I barely know my wife number. And she don't pick up, I just be sitting down.
Do they still do collect calls? I don't even know if they do them anymore. You know?
Last time you see the payphone. It's very
Oh, I remember a payphone bank. Well, it was about 8 or 9 of them on the road.
Hey, all right, we get back on the topic here. All right,
But that's technology.
That's technology, though. You know what I'm saying?
I think in today's world, the reality of it is technology is what you make of it. So I can either let technology take over, like some of the young people doing, you know, or I can utilize technology at a high level. Right. And then let that technology be a resource for me to drive business or helping other people or whatever I'm doing. You know what I mean? And I think that's really what's important, especially from the agent level, that we utilize technology as a resource and not as our sole source. Like I did that, right? You know, like I did that. Sometimes I come over and get stuff. I'm gonna need to coin phrase that. I'm gonna say that in the next thing I go. Technology is a resource, not your soul.
Hey, put that on a t-shirt. But look, I asked this to Mr. Cool over there. Is that do you think the face-to-face interaction has taken a hit because of technology?
Oh, without a doubt.
You know,
without a doubt. Yeah, it has taken its place of face-to-face. But I don't want to knock it.
It's okay.
No, I mean, let me explain. Because you got to go with the change of the times. You know, because that technology is there and we were able to do FaceTime, and technically you're still face-to-face. But it's something that's going with the change of time, and that's why you see we're able to do deals around the world. Mm-hmm. It's a big plus for real estate. You know, I love it. Mm-hmm. You know, it took me a while to get onto it, and Facebook. You know, I admit that that's not one of my favorite things to do, but sign of time. You got to go with it. You got to be able to jump in there and do it. But yeah, technology is very, very important for real estate. And all the tools that we have. I mean, I was with this agent the other day and I pulled out my KW app and said, hey, how long do you think you run a contract? 15, 20 minutes. I said, hold on, watch this. Yeah.
Oh, you want to show off, huh?
Yeah, so and I.
I said, right here, this was happening. You're like, what? Yeah. And, you know, it's a great thing. I think technology is very important. We got to stay on top of it. Yes. God's leaders in it.
I got you. Well, I think this has been some great content. We're gonna let the philosopher give us our his real take talk away. Real talk take
Real
away.
take talk.
That's how I close on this.
No. You ain't sound like the closer. You sound like the weatherman.
Real talk take away. What you got, philosophy?
Hey guys, we have to understand as agents, and for those who are about to become agents or are still agents at this point, know that how you think and how you see things is really important when you're dealing with whether they're buying and selling. And if you don't control those things, that can be a detriment in your business as well as your productivity.
All right. Close what you got.
I got a lot, but I'm gonna keep it down to it. The one little thing is you either are with technology or you're behind technology. And if you're not with it and figuring out how to use it as a resource, you're gonna lose all your business in the long run because your clients are with it, whether they want to be or they don't want to be, right? If they got kids, they gotta be ahead because they're trying to monitor what's on their kids' stuff. So you can either use it as a resource and maximize the potential and then grow yourself and your business at an exponential level, or you can stay in the old times and just fade on off like one of them queens in one of the Disney shows where they just go to dust and they just fade on out. You know what I'm saying?
I got you. Did I interrupt you before you?
No.
Okay.
The dust part was
That's
fade
it.
to dust.
That's it. That's how we're gonna close this thing. You know what I'm saying? Just fade to dust. Hey, Steve, we're gonna let Steve give us your real talk takeaway.
You got it right this time.
Back to starting point mentality. To the realtors who just starting out, working with buyers, you want to work with raw buyers. R-A-W. Ready, able, and willing. Don't waste your time unless they are raw buyers. I'm out.
I love it.
I love it.
I love it.
Hey, I like that.
I love it. I'm put that on the shirt too. You know what I'm saying? A lot of phrases to be coined on this thing right here. You know what I'm saying? We'd like to thank our guest, Mr. Cool, Stephen Rolyeston over there,
Yes, sir. Thank you,
for
Steve.
joining us on this episode here. We'd just like to say, make sure that y'all out there educate yourselves with what's in the best interest of your clients. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to us. We on YouTube, Instagram, and also Facebook. Make sure y'all check us out. Y'all been showing us some love and continue to do that. If there's any topics that you want us to hit on, make sure you let us know that as well. Outside of that, we'll catch y'all on the next one.
All right.
Peace out.
Good job.
I'm happy. That was fun, man.
Yes. You stop the judging.
Oh, you know.
The camera still rolling?